So we're going to work on rendering a turnaround in 3ds Max. This is the typical turnaround, and so we're going to just do this. The first things that you need to know is you don't want a lot of distracting stuff in the background. A lot of times people will add in boxes in the background and the hard edges are distracting towards what you need the model. I always recommend just a simple base platform and a well-lit area. This is an old 2014 obsolete mental ray model, so I need to update the materials. The first thing I'm going to do is, I need to simply go into my settings here, and I notice that there's no renderer picked. I'm going to just choose Arnold. That's going to give me my Arnold surfaces. I'm then going to go into standard surface and drag a standard surface down. I'm going to select all, edit, select all, and I'm going to right click and assign that material. Now at this point, the big thing that most people do is just leave it as is, or they have their textures. The first thing I always do is turn down my specular to 0, for the simple fact that my specular is very distracting when everything is glossy and shiny. People want to see the model for what it is. The next thing I'm going to do is, once I've got that, I need to put a base in here. And we can do a base with a number of different things. You can do it with a cylinder, pretty much any number of different aspects that you want to use. So I'm just going to angle my camera downward. I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to create my base. Now my base is just going to be lowered, and I'm going to basically put it so that it's on the feet here. And you'll notice that my center point is a little off center, so I'm not going to worry about that. But I want to get it as close to the center as possible. And so I'm just going to kind of rotate around and move that accordingly. So I think that looks pretty close. Let's move this over, and I'm just going to focus. And so I'm just rotating it around real quick just to give me a base idea of how my model is going to look as I spin it around. So that's my focal point. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to material, hitting M, and I'm not going to use the same material. I'm going to drag and drop a new material on here, and this will be my base. And the reason I'm doing this is the simple fact that I do not want my base to show all the information that I'm going to need. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm pretty much done texturing, making sure the model looks good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to piece this together in my render view. So if I hit render, you'll see that I've got my render right here. And the first thing I'm going to do is, you can see that this is an orthographic view. So perspective doesn't look very well. So I'm going to hit perspective and then again zoom out like so. And the key point is to get your screen filled with your character. Something along the lines of like this. And I always go in and look at show safe frames, and what that allows me to do is basically see where my character is going to kind of clip on the idea. So you can also see too that sometimes like this, so as long as that's good. And if your view is skewed, like this is a 4:3, nobody really does a 4:3 anymore, so you can always change that view by going and simply going 1920 by 1080. Again, when you hit play, you notice this gets significantly bigger. I'm going to just move this off screen here, and again I'm looking at safe frames, and I'm hitting Control and Alt and middle mouse button to kind of zoom that out. I'm doing a test render, basically looking at the lighting situation here. This lighting is kind of rough, so what I want is a better source of lighting. So what I'm going to do is simply go into my Create tab, go to Lighting, make sure I go to Arnold Lighting, and I'm going to click an Arnold light in there, like so. And you'll notice that once I put that in there, I'm going to Control C, and that will give me a physical camera. So that physical camera will be now a permanent solution. Then I'm going to hit Alt W, and then I'm going to go place my lighting. So I'm going to just bring that up and over here. And you can see here that my lighting is not looking good. So I'm going to just kind of place my lighting over my character, roughly like so. And you'll notice that once you put lighting in there, it's not bright enough. So we need to change that Arnold lighting. I'm going to go to Arnold, my lighting, and I'm going to do a sky dome. And you'll notice that once that sky dome is in there, it is significantly better. However, you'll notice that some things kind of bleach out. And so in order to get something a little bit better, we need to adjust our setting. I find that depending on the size of the model and what you're doing is going to change that aspect. So I'm going to just do 0.8 here, but I'm going to do like maybe 0.2 here, and that might be a little bit higher, 0.3. That might look a little bit better. Now I'm going to double check my material. Maybe my material will give me a little bit brighter aspects. So if I go here into my base, I can also change this to a little bit brighter, which will give me a little bit more better ambient occlusion shadows. So from there, I need to make this camera spin. I have the camera here. I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to just slightly move this inward here so that it's roughly the center of the camera point. So I've got the camera itself and then the camera target. If you want to like raise things or lower things, you can do it with these 2 points. Then what I'm going to do is basically take and go in the top view here, and I'm going to zoom out. And the key point that I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my Create tab. I'm going to go here into Circle. So I'm going to go into the shapes, circle, and I'm going to essentially click on that and zoom it out to the back of the camera. So with that idea present, now I can go in and grab my camera. I can go into animation, constraints, and I'm going to do path constraint, and I'm going to pick the cylinder. What that's going to do is going to adjust your camera and change it. That's fine. If we want, we can always rotate this. I'm just going to turn on my angle snaps, and then I'm going to just rotate this 90 degrees or so that it starts off right like so. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my panel here. So I'm going to simply go into my motion tab and go into my camera. My camera will now have this information here. So this is the path of which I'm going to animate, and you'll notice that as I go around, it will go from 0 to 100 like so. So that is a nice easy way to do that. The thing that I recommend doing is when you do this, kind of look and see how fast it's going. You might want more keyframes or less keyframes. If you want more keyframes, just right click and type the number of keyframes that you want. Then what we're going to do is we've got our render, and basically what we can do now is render this out as a sequence. Go to simply your render setup here. You can do custom output, and we can basically go into range. So, or we can do active time segment, either one. We are going to go and scroll down until you save file output. The file output, we can either do a simple like graphic images, like TIFF images, and then we can put that in Premiere, or we can render this out as a image sequence, or we can even do like an AVI file, though I don't recommend that, because if you're doing a big animation and it crashes, you lose the whole file. Whereas if we do here, we can do a simple like target TIFF or even a JPEG or PNG. So with that, we find a place to save. So this is our render output in our documentation here. We're just going to do test render, and then we hit save, say OK, and then basically we are going to hit render. So with that, you'll notice that everything starts rendering here. It's going to be based on whatever keyframe you have, so you'll see that as it renders, it spins around and saves your files. With that being said, the next thing that we want to do is oftentimes you're asked to do a wireframe with this render. Now, while it's rendering, I can't do anything, so I'm going to cancel that render. And if you go into your materials again, now we have our base material here and we have our other material there. That's what I'm concerned with. And again, you can see where we're rendering here. I'm going to simply type in wireframe. So I'm going to go search by name, and I'm going to do wire, and then I'm going to use the Arnold wireframe. When I drop this in, I can simply attach that to the base color, and that will give me a wireframe. Now, if you go on to the information, turn that to polygons, and then the base wireframe, if you look, will be almost black. So because I've got a lot of geometry, if I hit render, you'll see that it creates a really harsh angle. It's a simple fix. Just simply go in and lower this quantity. So if we go say 0.2 and then hit play, it's a lot cleaner and a lot easier to understand. So that aspect will show you the information that you need, and you can get a wireframe from that basis, and then just re-render it again under a different save file, and then that format will give you the file format that you're looking for. That is really how to render out stills for a wireframe and for a regular turnaround. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I hope this information has helped you out.